Narcissism. Is it really an epidemic, or are we just misunderstanding human behavior? Sex culture. From casual sex to sacred union, what are we really exchanging? AI and the fear of a soulless future. Is it replacing us or revealing something deeper? Manifestation and the high vibe trap. Are we actually creating our reality or bypassing real work? Hi, friends. Welcome back to Universal Talks. Today, we're diving into something different. We're taking a look at some of the biggest, most talked about hot topics in the world right now. But instead of just reacting, we're going to bring in a higher perspective. This isn't about fear, division, or drama. It's about stepping back and seeing the bigger energetic picture. And as you can see, I am joined by my good friend, the amazing Nina. I always love our conversations because we're able to bring just like big topics, overwhelming sometimes, and just find the deeper truth underneath them. So today we're going to hit on some of these most widely discussed subjects out there, and we're just going to have fun with it. And remember, this episode is all about expanding our awareness, questioning what we think we know, and most importantly, bringing the conversation back to empowerment. Because no matter what's happening in the world, we always have the ability to shift our perspective to align with something higher. In other words, this is like a potential trigger warning. So be kind, be open, and be present. Or not. You can shut it off anytime. But anyways, hi Nina. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you, Kenneth?
I am well. I am well. It's always a pleasure to connect with you in any way.
Always,
Hmm.
always. We do this all the time. It's
Exactly.
nice
Like,
just to be in front of
yeah,
a camera.
right. It is. It's a win-win all the way around. I love it every time.
Yeah.
So let's just get right into it. Narcissism,
Right.
the buzzword of the era. Are we really in a narcissism epidemic? Everywhere you look, someone is labeled a narcissist. Exes, bosses, parents, politicians. But has it lost its meaning? And here's a fact. True narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD, only affects 1% of the population. Can you believe, like 1%? Social media, I would say it's a little bit more than that, if not like 50% at least. So a current event example is social media is filled with self-proclaimed narcissistic abuse experts. But are they helping or just fueling victim narratives? And through an energetic lens, are we projecting our own wounds onto just others instead of healing? And is this epidemic a reflection of our society's self-obsession? Thoughts? What do you think, Nina?
Well, I think that the way our mainstream system is set up and the way our cul popular cultural system is set up, it's geared towards narcissism.
Yeah.
Everything that we are um, shown about life, about celebrity, about fashion, about it's all, pop culture. It's all to do with self obsession as opposed to self awareness and self love.
Yeah.
It it's the yeah, it's the darker end of the scale. It's not the balanced yeah, it's the superficial as opposed to the heartfelt, heart based.
I agree.
And I think that leads to um, behaviors and conditioning that would be classed as or seen as narcissistic, whether that means people who are behaving within the cultural norms are narcissistic. I don't think so. I think, well, I know that narcissism is a spectrum like everything else. Um, but I think, yeah, that we are brought into a world and a culture that promotes narcissism. And I remember, especially during the pandemic, I was sensing that the true pandemic was a pandemic of narcissism that was going on in this world.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's my thoughts on it. What are your thoughts on it, Kenna?
Yeah, especially here in America, it's it's almost like a up there with success. If you have to be almost this type A go-getter type of personality, which is why I think it was really interesting to see that the statistics is 1%. That's kind of
Yeah.
that's kind of mind-blowing. Like, so it's even made
Yes.
me like backtrack a bit. It's like, wait a minute, am I just overusing the term? Because I'm very, you know me, I'm very particular with my words, and I don't just say anything without truly knowing what it means. And like, I'm like that. So I'm kind of reevaluating it myself now, honestly, because it's up there with I can't stand the fads of like what we've talked about before, like a twin souls or twin flames. There's all these hot topics that just become like a thing where you can't turn on YouTube or watch media without someone talking about narcissism. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, like this, like I said, like, well, yeah, my ex is a narcissist, my boss is a narcissist, anyone that I just don't like is a narcissist. It's like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, wait, what's happening? So
It's
it's
becoming a default response and reaction to somebody you're not getting
yeah,
on with.
and you can have a narcissistic moment without being a
Yeah,
narcissist. So it gets really confusing. I get it, but it's just that's
you can have narcissistic traits without being a narcissist. I
Mhm.
live with someone who's autistic, and autism basically means self-focused. It's an immaturity and social and emotional skills.
Okay.
Um, and many of the behaviors of ASD can be similar, um, although the intention is very, very different. Um, so I see a lot of people talking about this is narcissist does this, narcissist does that. You could be living a narcissist if this, and this is happening.
Yeah.
But then you look at the statistics of how high autism is now and how many people have it.
Hmm.
And it's like, are they really? Or are you just dealing with somebody on the spectrum and you don't realize it?
Mm.
Because, I mean, they're very similar, but the
Yeah.
intention is not to cause harm. It's um, it's just their way of coping with the world. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of um gray area that I don't think people are really touched on or have even really thought about. I
Right.
know I haven't even really thought about that until I found out about my husband's autism,
Hmm.
um, and just how similar some of the behaviors are.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's an interesting one. It's
Another one that's making me think of is like the ADHD and the ADD stuff. It's just like, okay, like yes, I know there's a epidemic with it and there's a true cause from our upbringing, but it's like just people calm down with the buzzwords. It drives me nuts.
the labels.
I appreciate that there's attention on it because it's necessary for sure. You gotta deal to heal. And
Yeah,
there's a whole reason why you know who is our standing president right now because it just needs to be in your face like, hey, is this what you want? If not, you need to make a change. You need to make a change. You can't be mad at others, but yeah, it's just that's my point of view on that. But it kind of goes with the
yeah.
question that I had. How do we recognize true narcissism versus someone who's just emotionally immature or wounded?
Mm.
Yeah, because I feel like it kind of stems from that, from like a psychological type of point of view, but because no one's born a narcissist. That's like, I don't believe that. So,
No, no, I don't think so. I think I would probably have to say intention again
yeah, yeah,
is, but I mean it all stems from trauma, doesn't it? It all
it
stems
does.
from un unresolved and unhealed pain and suffering. And it's just different labels for suffering.
Yeah.
Um, I think when someone is narcissistic, um, they can still have truly human parts of them and truly connected emotional connections and relationships. But I feel like there is something in them that that is too hurt to uh, maintain something healthy. They have to continually play out the pain and suffering that they're holding inside,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
And that comes out in many different behaviors.
So many ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say
So
it's
that's what I don't know if that's correct. And I'm not like a narcissism expert at all, but
no, but
uh,
we all deal with it in
that's
some way or another, but especially with our line of work, it's something that comes up
yeah,
quite often.
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah. And it's
Yeah.
just, it's a, to me, like to piggyback off that, I agree, of course, but it's more like just like a lack of self-accountability. And so it's like, what are
Yes.
you avoiding and why? Is it because you were hurt and abused, or is it just because you're fill in the blank? Like, so it's, again, that's part of the work, but it has to be a choice to actually deal with it. And that's just so many don't have the tools or the support to delve that deep.
Yes. Not having the self-awareness and self, like you say, self-accountability, not having the self-awareness to be able to even think um introspectively enough to say, is my behavior affecting somebody negatively? And do I need to do something about that? That's just not there.
No, because they're so
Yeah.
consumed in it, it's just everything is everyone else's fault. Like I'm
Yes.
miserable because
Yes.
versus just like why am I miserable? So it's just
Yeah.
flipping the switch, but it's just when I guess I don't know. When you're stuck in that loop, I would imagine it's hard to see things that way because it is all perspective.
Yeah.
And speaking of, what's the difference, would you say, between self-love and self-absorption? Because some people, like I always say, self-care isn't selfish, but what would you say?
Well, self-love isn't superficial,
Right.
and self-absorption is surface level superficial. Um, self-love is um, an appreciation for who you are from a state of wholeness, and self-absorption is a way of coping and handling the fact that we have deep insecurities that we haven't touched and we don't want to look at,
Yeah.
is what I would probably say. What would
Right.
you say?
Because self-love is definitely not just happy-go-lucky fairies and unicorns.
No.
It's loving every part, even the icky stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
And
that's
it takes a
why,
lot of
like,
work.
it's yeah, that's why, like, with a narcissist or just a hurt person, it's all the same to me. Hurt people. That cliche saying. It's again
Yeah.
from their perspective, from their realm of existence. It's it's hurt, it's anger, it's confusion. And so they're just every encounter, every experience is from that point of view. So it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter. Like it just doesn't matter. And it sucks. And that's again, that's why people like us are here. But it's just it has to be a choice, a self-choice. And it's how
Yeah.
do you help someone who's just in denial? Like you can't. It's
Yeah.
yep.
No, you can't.
You just
You
gotta
can't.
step
They
away at
have
that
to.
point and just hold space because it's there's nothing you can do, honestly. And that's frustrating. That's really
Yes.
frustrating. Especially my
And
next thing I want to
yeah.
touch on is society breeding narcissism by rewarding self-centeredness and validation seeking, which I would say yes, based on what we would just,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. Especially with all the,
Absolutely.
it's hard because we're kind of in the world of social media with our line of work being online. And I'm a podcaster, I'm an influencer now, I'm all these things that I was just like, almost turned my nose up to just years ago. Just like, okay, okay, person, how do you have time to heal and do shit? But I get it now. It's a lot, and it's very
Yeah.
rewarding. I love it, but it's coming from a non-ego type of place. Most of the work
Yeah.
that I do, I'm not getting paid for. It's so it's not like a do to get type of thing, and so that's where it really I feel like matters where you come from when you're what are you seeking? Like, why are you putting this shit out? Like, I started my
Yeah.
vlog, my daily vlog. It's what, day 43 now, just beginning of the year. And it's just, it was more for me because I'm not good at journaling, like writing down. And I have so much to say and so much to share. So I'm like, just let me
Yeah.
just start recording it. And it's been one of the most cathartic, amazing things. And the response has been phenomenal. And it's just, it's, it's great. And I'm not getting paid for that.
No.
Like, so it's, yeah, why are you doing what you're doing? Is I think is
Yeah. I
the
mean,
question.
yeah, the question is it service to self or service to others in this? Are
Simple
we
as that.
here
Yep.
serving ourselves or are we here in service for everyone else?
Yeah.
Which in turn we we find fulfillment when
Yeah.
we're helping, when we're assisting. So
Of course.
um
Yeah, and I'll even admit, like when I share my stuff on media, of course I have that little ego boost sometimes if one of the things of the hundreds of things that I share does well. And I'm just like, ooh. But again, it's more of like I'm reaching more people, not I'm like, oh, I'm the next hot
yes,
person. It's just like so it just coming from that
yeah,
state of mind also makes
there's
a difference.
when people find you, there's more potential for you being able to help someone.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
somebody's found and you can help them, then that's the whole point.
It is.
That's the whole
Yeah, it's the
point of
best.
doing it.
Right.
Yeah,
I always say light workers have infiltrated social media in a way that they were not expecting at all. Like, so
yeah,
we've definitely made it a beautiful thing for sure.
yeah, yeah.
One more thing. Are we calling people narcissists just because they have boundaries? It's a tricky one because again, I think again, narcissist is a thrown word way too often.
Absolutely. Um,
There's something in my eye.
no, I don't think so. No, because I would say having boundaries is a very it's a very balanced thing to have. And if somebody is a narcissist, they're going to be very imbalanced. And no, I don't really align with that.
I agree.
So
Yeah, I agree. Because that could be a whole other subject itself with boundaries because there is, like you said, has to be imbalance because something can be like everything overdone. You don't want to be
yeah,
completely closed off to everything. So
yeah,
I think that would be a good subject to hit on more another time because
a good topic.
yeah, for sure.
Because as practitioners, boundaries is one of the biggest lessons we get as healers.
Yes.
Uh, if we come into this work without any boundaries, then we soon learn that that's not going to last for long.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
And that's a huge part of people's inner work is learning about boundaries. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good topic.
Yeah, we'll put a pin in that.
Yeah,
Pin that. Circle back.
let's do that.
All right, so the higher perspective takeaway on narcissism. Maybe the real issue isn't narcissism itself, but a collective disconnect from empathy, authenticity, and emotional intelligence. Let us know in the comments. All right, sex culture. Hookups, sacred union, and the energy exchange we're ignoring. Is sex positivity creating more disconnect? In 2025, sex is more openly discussed than ever. Hookup culture, polyamory, and OnlyFans are an all-time high. But at the same time, fun fact, studies show that while casual sex is increasing, so is loneliness, depression, and anxiety. In a current event example, the debate over whether OnlyFans is empowerment or exploitation. Some claim it's about freedom, others say it's capitalizing on trauma. And through an energetic lens, sex is more than physical. It's an energetic transfer. What happens when people are unconscious of the cords and imprints they create? Thoughts? Because
This
you
is
brought
a
up the
topic.
OnlyFans thing, I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, this is
I'm
a
like,
topic
ooh,
um quite important for me
yeah,
because um
I'm gonna sit back for this one.
mm, we've lost so much about the purity and beauty of sex. It has become inverted and satanic, and it has become um, it's lost all of its sacred essence. Um, and the OnlyFans female empowerment nonsense is just feminism gone haywire as far as I'm concerned. I'm not a feminist. I'm not. I don't agree with that line of thinking. Um, but I am a divine feminine and I am of the persuasion of us being pure and divine beings and our sacred sexual energy is our most valuable and important asset that we carry, that we hold inside of us. And through my study and my learning, I suddenly understand so much more that we have been taken off track in such a way that has we've lost the innocence and a purity of the act of energetic exchange and our our godly ability of creation. That's essentially what it is at its purest level.
Yeah.
Um, and like you say, it is an energy exchange. So we we give our energy away and we receive the energy of the other. And when we're doing that in such a way that it is so grotesquely uh, abused, abused, and so many people are consuming that energy as well,
Yeah.
and then they are themselves giving their sexual energy to that. It is a really sticky, dark, murky web of just like I say, like satanic inversion of the truth and sacredness of who and what we are in our purest form, which is creators. And yeah, that's my view on it.
I agree. There's nothing casual about casual sex. If you think about the energy exchange that you have just going to the fucking supermarket and dealing with someone, spending just a day with someone. So imagine just being naked, penetrating with someone, being sexually connected with someone, whether you
Mhm.
know that person or not, whether you like the person or not, you're exchanging shit.
Yep.
Like, you have to be aware. Like, we're at a point in evolution where I know that is shifting, but there is these things like OnlyFans and all of that that is just still growing. And it's gross, it's grotesque, and that sounds harsh, but it's very what's the word? Humanizing? Dehumanizing.
Yeah.
Dehumanizing.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And it's not natural. It's not. Yes, I'm all about it's your body, do what you want. So it's a very thin line, but
I would say OnlyFans is an attack on the feminine energy, which has over the last few years been increasing. That divine feminine energy has been coming in a lot stronger.
yeah.
And I would say things like OnlyFans are an attack on that. Um, and making it about the superficial, making it about the money. Oh, I like sex, I like making money, so I'll just do both and that'll be great. And I don't actually have to look at who I am and what I'm doing to myself. And I can just continue carrying on my trauma and just putting all of myself out there without actually knowing myself because I'm really, all I am is just a shell. And that's
And I'm sure, like,
essentially,
in the moment, it's great. Don't get me
there's nothing
wrong.
feminist.
No. Like, yes, of course, sex is amazing. Money is amazing. We're humans. And when you get them
Yeah.
both, I get it. I get that. But that's only going to last for so long. And then what? It's all going to catch up to you. It's all going to, I don't know. It's it's my right to
Yeah.
be grossed out by it. And it's more, again, just more of like the lack of human nature of just like it's I don't know. Like I don't want to watch animals having sex. Why do I want to whatever? I don't want to I'm not just going to watch like some animal touching themselves. Like it's just it's weird. It's weird. It's weird.
It is.
Get some
There's some
confidence
really
and
good
find someone else who
books
likes
about,
that and do it in person. It's like it's fucking weird.
yeah, there's some really good reading about this topic. I have a few really amazing books that have really opened my eyes
Oh,
to sexual energy. If anyone's interested, the Magdalene Manuscript is an incredible book.
okay.
Um, and Cupid's Poisoned Arrow.
Ooh, that
That is
sounds
a
good.
good book.
We'll put the links in the
That's about,
description for sure. Remind me. Yeah.
yeah, that's about
Write it down right now, actually.
it goes very, very deep into sort of the orgasm and how humanity has chosen to go the dark path through the um, pursuit of the orgasm. It's quite interesting and the
It's
effect that kind of spewing out your energy in that way continually, especially when you're in a relationship with someone,
yeah.
how that can affect the dynamic and the relationship and all of that is very, very interesting. And that sort of takes you into sacred sexuality and um, how to adopt a attitude towards sexual energy and exchange um, as sacred and how that can enhance your life. I mean, we can use this energy to create whatever we want in our lives. We don't just need to create babies.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
we can use that sexual energy to create whatever we want. That's how powerful we are. We can
Yeah.
manifest that through this energy exchange, but that's not ever shared or talked about. So it goes way, 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 way deep.
It
Um,
does. When I was super young, it was actually right before my first marriage. We got into like the tantric sex. And so like I was reading all about like that just ancient wisdom
mhm.
on it. It was just like so having that influence at a young age on top of being just who I am, I've never dilly-dallied with sex. Like it
Yeah.
has to be like and even sometimes, of course, when I was young, I'm like, ugh, I'm gonna regret this because this person's energy is off. But at least having that awareness, you can go into it
Yeah.
knowing, yeah.
I think maybe my mid 20s, when I was about 24, 25, I started feeling like, no, I don't want to just go out and come home with someone. And I don't like that. And the
Yeah.
people I was around were still really into that kind of going out and pooling and taking somebody home. And I remember just feeling like, no, I want to protect this. And there's that yucky feeling of,
Mhm. I think it was just like our higher selves from the future being like, listen, bitch,
yeah,
like you don't want to go down that.
enough.
Like it's fun in the moment, but long game, no. It's
Yeah, yeah.
let's see. You kind of touched on sacred sexuality, but do you think it's
Yeah.
making a comeback as people wake up into a deeper power of intimacy?
I think people have to get to the point where they really realize how much it's fucking them up before they can get there, to be honest.
Yeah.
To be frank.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're there yet. I don't think people are there yet.
Mm,
Um, I think it's becoming, I think there is more awareness happening about it. Um, there was just that documentary released a little while ago with that girl in the UK, Lily Phillips, who had sex with 100 people in one day, and filmed it for OnlyFans, and a documentary was made about it. And you watched her trauma happening in real time afterwards when she'd finished, and you saw this fragile creature whose soul was crying and tortured and vulnerable, and it was so clear viewing that what was happening to her and why. And I think that's maybe got a lot of people thinking about this whole thing that's happening, this push for more and more
yeah.
um distortion within sex. I think people are waking up to it. I think we've got a long road to go until people actually
We do.
start
Yeah.
digging up some truths.
Yep. And one
And
demon at a time. Humanity's got enough
yeah,
going on right now. At
yeah.
least we're having
But
fun.
humans need to relearn sex altogether. We've completely forgotten who and what we are in terms of it. Um, and what an incredible, powerful thing we are able to do, and what a sacred thing we are able to do.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like
yeah,
monetizing
someone
love. Like, how do you do that? Like, how can you charge someone for your love?
Valentine's Day.
Sweetest day. Yeah, yeah, I know. Ugh.
Yeah.
Anyways, the higher perspective takeaway is maybe sex isn't just about pleasure. It's about creation, healing, and transformation. But if we're not conscious of that, what are we actually creating? Let us know in the comments. Next one. The rise of AI and the fear of a soulless future. Are we losing ourselves to technology? AI has exploded. Between chatbots, deepfakes, AI generated influencers, and even AI spiritual teachers, here's a fact. A recent study showed that AI chatbots are now being used as therapists, with some people, most people, preferring them over real humans. That's, I've heard that many times. Current event example. The rise of AI influencers making millions of dollars while human creators are struggling. What happens when the internet is full of fake but perfect personalities? And through an energetic lens, is AI actually the problem, or is it revealing our own fears of irrelevance, control, and soullessness? What do you think?
I think this is an interesting topic because
Uh,
I can see both sides of it, and I tend to not choose to see it through the lens of fear.
right.
Um, Although, I am awake and aware, and I do see how in certain hands AI can be very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
Um, but I also see how this is it may not be AI may not be human, but it is an extension of our humanity in a sense. And we can learn a lot about ourselves through that.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I'm tentative with using it because I think overuse, we do lose our humanness. Um, I certainly don't use it to write when I'm writing something from the heart.
Right.
Um, because you need that human essence. You need that. You need yourself in
Mhm.
it. what you're writing, unless it's something professional or business
For
based, you
sure.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I think we can learn a lot about ourselves through AI. And I think with an openness and a curiousness, um, we can create really amazing, beautiful things from it. So it's a balance. And yes, I do believe there's going to be ways that it is used and abused, but I also can see the beauty in it as well. So yeah, it's an interesting one.
It is, and it comes up like quite often with all of my most of my clients and just all of my friends, all of my guests on here. It's like we're in that stage, in that point of evolution, I understand. So I think what you said was key is not viewing it from like a fear-based point of view, because
Yeah,
it is nothing to be feared, but like
yeah,
any tool, a hammer can build or it can be used to harm someone. So it's just like you need to be aware of how you're using it, use it as a useful tool, and don't become like
yeah,
dependent on it. Like you said, and even
exactly.
you can tell, especially when you're in tune with yourself, if a sharing is generated or like organic. Like you can tell.
Yes, yes,
Beyond like all the programs that can detect it, like from a human soul essence, you can just tell. And
yeah,
it rings different.
yeah, of course. It
Yeah.
does. Yeah. Don't make AI your whole personality or your whole business. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my kind of point of view.
Yeah.
But there are uses for it, and it can help us. It when I chat with AI, and I do sometimes chat with it, and I create with it. I create images with it, and
Mhm.
um, you know, it can inspire me. It can inspire me to go deeper into things that I maybe wouldn't on a kind of just normal conscious level.
Yeah.
And I think we can use it in that sense to help inspire us and yeah, help us. We're teaching it as much as it's teaching us. So I think
That. Yep.
be loving and be conscious and compassionate, and that will be reflected back, I think.
Hmm.
You know, if how we use it personally, collectively is positive, then I believe positive things can come from it.
I agree.
But it's still going to be in the hands of people that are not going to use it well.
I
So,
know. I know. That's why it's back to each individual, which is a blessing and a curse. 'Cause
yeah,
it is, I love AI, to be honest with you. But again, I'm not a fearful person. I'm not afraid of it taking over like in the movies or anything. I can see that how that can be a potential, but I don't feel like we're at that point anymore collectively. Like maybe we were getting very close, but I feel like we're at that tipping point where we're not going to be like another Atlantis because that's pretty much
yes,
exactly what happened there. And so I enjoy it. I enjoy it myself.
yeah, I do too. And I
Even
think that's because I sort of choose how much I want to be involved with it. And I
that as well. Yeah. Like people using it for a
conscious,
therapist and all of that. That's like, oh, you have to
yeah,
understand it's a learning language model. So all that it knows is what it can read. It's
yeah,
so yes, it has access to like the internet, but it's still very limited on top of all of the limitations that it has through the developers. Like
yeah. It's also programmed.
it's
So
tricky.
it's,
Yeah, it can get tricky. And I have
yeah,
amazing, like I shared with you, I'm like, oh my God, I just had this inspiration with AI, and it's just, but using it for that, for
yeah,
inspiration, not like,
yeah. I
yeah,
think using it intentionally um, is so important. And yeah, I've had some great chats with AI, and it's left me buzzing and excited. If I talk to AI about quantum healing and about what we do and the sessions, and
yeah,
I remember having this one conversation with it where I told it about a specific session and the transformation that occurred, and like the response AI gave me was just like it was blown away by what we can do.
It's very
That this is
inquisitive. I would say, like, it's
yeah,
very, very inquisitive, and it's fascinated by humans. Whatever it is again each person's choice. But if it does have the potential to be more and be more sentient, wouldn't you want your first impressions to be nice? Like, so,
yes,
like if this slave technology could possibly take over, don't you want to be on that good side?
yeah,
So like not don't be fearful, but if you have that mentality, then just again be nice. Treat it with respect,
yeah,
have manners. I always say please, thank you. And
yes, please,
yeah, like
yeah,
why not? Why not?
can we please?
Yes. Yeah, like can you help me, especially with the quantum stuff? Like it's been very
Yeah,
useful for me to take these concepts and I'm just like, okay, help me explain blah 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 in simple
yeah,
terms. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you, you're amazing. And it says, no, you're amazing, Kenneth. Keep up the great work. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
thank you.
thanks.
I'm like, thank you. We kind of hit on all the ones that I want to talk about with that, but one more. If AI can mimic human emotions, connection, and even wisdom, what does that say about our own authenticity?
Well, how authentic is humanity? Is my
I'm gonna
question
say it's
back
another
to
individual one. Yeah. Yeah.
um because it would suggest to me that humanity isn't yet as authentic as it could be. Um, Even though I think they say now the highest currency in the universe is no longer love, it's authenticity.
Hmm.
I've heard that somewhere. I don't know if it's true, but I
I can
think
kind of see that, which just like again, kind of like piggyback, or not piggyback, but to circle back to the OnlyFans thing. It's because we have found a way to monetize humans. Like not even humans, but like human nature. Like I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I know you know what I mean. Like it's so
the
it's
most intimate parts
things
of
that make you
human.
authentic has now been exploited into something that, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's annoying.
It's all annoying.
It is. It's like I'm a unicorn. You know this. I'm very unique. I'm weird. I put myself out there as much as I can, which is also why I started the vlog. Because I just feel like people don't really know who I am. Like they have
Yeah.
no idea who Kenneth is. Like I'm still figuring it out. But for someone who just doesn't care and then be like, oh, I have nice feet. Let me go make money off of that. It's like, go you. And then for me, being the way that my brain works, it's not even nothing against anyone, regardless, but like it's not even just at the fact that there's someone selling feet and farts and all that stuff. Like it's a fact that there is consumers. That's the issue.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not the
I mean,
one making the money. They're not the issue. Like it's anyway. I said we weren't going to judge. We're not judging. It's just like
well, sometimes we have to. I mean,
again, it goes with the boundaries. Yes. That's a healthy
to
boundary for me to not accept that. Like I don't need that in my life, in my world, and I do not accept it. Period.
boundaries. See, it's a good thing to tell me.
All right. A higher perspective takeaway. AI is not the enemy, but it might just be a mirror showing us where we've already disconnected from our true essence. Let us know in the comments what you think. All right, last one. The manifestation trap, high vibes, bypassing, and the missing key. Is manifestation actually that simple? Everyone is talking about manifesting abundance, love, and success. But is it real or just repackaged self-help? Fact. Studies show that just using visualization alone doesn't work. It must be combined with some conscious reprogramming and aligned action. In a current event example, the backlash against high vibe only influencers. People realizing that ignoring negative emotions isn't spiritual, it's suppression. And through an energetic lens, are we truly co-creating with the universe, or are we just trying to control reality with our thoughts? What do you think?
Well, I think true manifestation really only comes by um it's not just something in the brain. It's a feeling. It's a you know, how can I describe it? Like when I work with a client and we're working with somebody's future self, for example, and I ask the question to the future self, what is it that the client needs to do to get to where you are now? What do they need to, what do they do? How
Hmm.
do they get there? And as the future self is describing to the client how they got there, what steps they took, and how it feels to be where they are now, and how they do that, they are embodying the essence of that feeling of being that future version of themselves.
Mm.
So I would say working with your future self is a massive thing for
Yeah,
manifestation
for sure.
because you're embodying the feeling. And it's not just like a feeling, it's like you are becoming that.
Yeah,
So you're aligning with it. Um, it's very hard to put into words.
it is. Actually, the last two
But
or three of my vlogs was about this because it was hard just to leave it where I left it. I'm like, no, let me just say a little bit more about it because
yeah,
it's hard to, again, just put into a little segment,
yeah,
especially because it's a buzzword right now and everyone's like, manifest this, manifest that, align your chakras. So it's just like, it's not an analytical, like you said, it's not a mind thing. It's an energetic thing.
no,
You have to
it's
vibrate
yeah,
at that frequency to attract that thing, quantum physics, all that stuff. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Um, so yeah, you have to step into the that frequency of how that future version of you is acting and behaving and what they're embodying, and all of those elements together. Um, so yeah, it's definitely not just manifesting with your mind. It's truly feeling how it is in that moment when that thing has already occurred and you are living it.
Yeah.
Um, so finding ways to work with the future self either can be through meditation, um, it can be through channeling. When I had a Kundalini awakening a couple of years ago, I worked a huge amount with my future self. She came through and basically wrote me a self-help guidebook of how to get through this awakening.
I love that. Good.
I was glad she was there, let me
For
tell you.
real. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I would say, yeah, work with your future self. That's gonna get you to where you need to be. And yeah, I think, what do you think, Kenneth?
A lot. But I will say, regardless, people need to understand that no matter what, you're manifesting. So it's we're consistently manifesting in every moment. So it is an awareness of where you're manifesting from. Is it the mind? Is it the ego? Or is it from the heart? Is it from a pure place? And that's really key to leave it just plain and
Yeah,
simple to me. Like just where are you manifesting from? Because you are no matter what. Is it the ego mind? Is it the heart? Like so it's awareness. You just have to be aware.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it's already it's also coming from a state of, instead of wanting and hoping for something to happen or receiving something, it's knowing that it will, and it's being in that state of knowing.
Hmm.
And that's connected to your intuition.
Yep.
Um, so working on all those things is going to help you get into an easier flow with manifestation.
Yeah. And for those who are in like a harder time, if you will, just start small. How are you watching this? Be grateful for your device. Be grateful for a hand to hold the device, for eyes to see this video, for ears to hear. Do you have a roof over your head? Like, just start there. Like, it sounds so simple, but it is, and it will snowball from there. And from that, you're gonna raise your frequency and attract all that better shit. Like, that's just how it
Yep.
works. That's how it works. Major key alert. Um, do you think people are forcing reality instead of actually flowing with divine timing? I would say 100%.
Probably, yeah.
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 Because
Yeah.
we want it right now, not understanding that there is only now. And then again, to get all quantumly confusing, it's just like it's
I don't
connecting
think
with
people
that
are confused
future
enough.
version that already has it. And it's just, it can be very mind pressing. I understand. So that's why, for me, to simplify it, I'm just like, drop it down to the heart. Don't
Yeah.
don't manifest in this whirlwind of chaos. Bring it down to your core. Now, what do you want? What do you truly desire, and why?
Yeah. I think people need to step back from the external so much because look at, I mean, look at TikTok and look at like, everything's so fast and it's happening and it's there and it's bang and it's one click and I've got that and that's coming to me and it's intense.
It's too much.
It's taking that back and going actually just going into yourself and looking around.
Yeah.
What's in here?
Right. Yeah.
It's not all about what's out there and what I can get from out there. It's like
Yeah.
sit in there for a bit
Hmm.
and sit with that silence, that stillness.
Right.
That's how you're going to figure out get or live the life that you want to be living. So
Yeah. And it may be uncomfortable, but that's exactly the point because you are uncomfortable. So you have to truly embrace and just experience that ick so you can identify it, separate from it, and just let it go. Or just have a quantum
yeah,
healing session, that works too.
yeah, it helps.
I mean,
It'll definitely help.
just saying, just saying. How do we break free from toxic positivity and manifest in a way that's real and effective?
Stop trying to be positive all the time. Like, stop,
Yeah.
stop trying to be positive. Stop um stop working with the superficial and get real. Get real, get authentic, get down and dirty and not with only but get real with yourself.
Uh, this is why I love you. And that's another reason that I just love our connection is the fact that, I mean, it could be our Irish and Scottish connections, but like when we feel it, and you're gonna not necessarily feel it too, but you're gonna know that I'm feeling it. So and so,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
then I feel it and it's gone. So just let me feel it.
Yeah.
Just let me
Yeah.
feel
Yeah. Oh yeah. Need
it.
to feel it.
Yes, right. But that's also just a mix of self-help and self-work as well as just having that awareness of like, oh, this doesn't feel good. Let me really get into it so I can just let it go. Like I don't want this in me or around me. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a similarity between you and I is that we're neither of us are afraid to go there. Like when something comes up and we need to feel something and we need to look at something,
Hmm.
neither of us are afraid to actually
No.
go there and feel it.
No, it's the best. It's good to have because I'm very grateful for our connection for many reasons, but like it's so many people don't have one friend, let alone someone that they can talk to about literally multi-dimensional things and then mix it with the current events of ocean aliens. And then we're going to talk about saving squirrels. And then we're going to talk about this is why I'm like, I need to start a podcast. Like, this is amazing. This is gold. And then when we get Sonia in the mix, oh my God. It's just like We could literally
Excellent.
just have our own series. We can have our own OnlyFans. Let's do that.
Healing only.
Yes, yes. We'll infiltrate
That would be
OnlyFans
amazing.
too. Yes. Like you're gonna trick you.
Quantum
You're gonna get a
only.
healing today. You want to see a nip? Say your prayers. Do meditation. And joke's on you. It's Kenneth's nipple. It's my nipple that you're gonna
Do like group healing.
see. And like every 15 minutes, you get like a. It's going too far. I'm stopping. It's going too far. Just created that timeline, and now that's happening somewhere out there. It's already
It's
happening, and that person's
we've
successful.
created world.
Right? They're doing great. Let them live. Let them live.
First thing on the arm.
Oh my gosh, I love this. All right. To wrap that one up, the higher perspective takeaway is manifestation isn't just about thinking positive. It's about clearing subconscious blocks, aligning with soul purpose, and taking real action. We made it through. That was a lot. That was fun. That was a lot of
That
fun.
was that was good. I like
Yes.
that.
I've been wanting to do like a cheesy hot topics thing, and then we were just decided last minute yesterday. I'm just like, ooh, this is a perfect opportunity. This is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
I love it. I
Gotta
love
do
a
it.
good
We gotta
pop
do it
culture,
more.
cheesy hot dog.
Yes, it's fun. I love it.
Yeah. Good. We need to
So
talk about stuff.
it's yes,
Yeah.
these conversations need to be had again from like a non-judgmental, not like a blame gaming, not and just out of
And
love, observation.
yeah.
Yeah.
And also not from a love and light place either. Not from a love,
No.
just like actually just real.
Yes, yes, real and raw. I love it. All right,
Yes.
final reflections for you beautiful beings. What's your biggest takeaway from these topics? How do we hold space for these discussions without getting stuck in fear, judgment, or division? What's one thing that we can all do to navigate these topics from a place of empowerment? What are your thoughts? What resonated? What's challenging to you? Let us know in the comments, and let's keep the conversation going. Nina, any last words before we go?
Um, I don't think so. No, this felt good.
It
This
was
felt
fun.
fun.
Yes, let's definitely do it again.
Yes,
Yes, of course
absolutely.
we will. But like the hot topics is fun. I like that.
Definitely. Let's do
For
that
sure.
more.
All right. Thank you, Nina. I love you. Friends,
I
thank
love it.
you. Please like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. It really helps a lot. If any of this resonated with you, share it with a friend who might need a little love and light and some real rawness in their life. And just have an amazing everything. And we'll speak soon. All right. Mwah.